Well, the only side that escalates the aggression is Russian Federation. It's pretty obvious. We don't hit the civilian objects in Russian Federation. We don't kill the civilians in Russian Federation. That's what they do every day for 7 months. So it's a big problem. I don't think it's a big issue and a big question. Who is escalating the aggression? As for the peace mediation, I mean, how can you persuade the maniac, the paranoid, who is hitting the missiles every day, as you see in the video, on peaceful civilian people? How can you discuss with him? How can you talk with him? I mean, I don't see any chance that any mediator would succeed in letting the maniac called Vladimir Putin to sit down and talk. I don't see any single possibility for that. Mm-hmm. And as for you mentioned that Ukraine turned into a battlefield between NATO and Russia. Russia is thinking too good about itself, because now it's Ukrainian army that fighting with Russian army, and Russian army is losing. Mm-hmm. There is no NATO army on our territory. Mm-hmm. If NATO joined the operation, counter-offense operation against Russia, then Russia will be finished within days, not within months.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we see Ukraine are just to join NATO immediately. How is the progress so far?
Ukraine will not possibly join NATO immediately. Mm-hmm. We just applied for a candidacy, and we're not given the candidacy yet. So it will take some time before we receive the candidacy, if receive at all. However, I think that the Ukrainian army is very much up to NATO standards, if not higher in some positions. So in technical terms, we fit NATO, and in technical terms, we could consider our army as NATO army somehow. Mm-hmm. But from juridical point of view, it will need some approvals from the members for candidacy, and then for accession. It will take some time.
Mm-hmm. We see the Russian President Vladimir Putin said the strikes were in retaliation for Ukraine's attack, including the Crimea bridge attack. What's your view about this?
Well, I would not use non-diplomatic words for that, but it's absolute rubbish what he says, because it's very disputable who actually damaged the bridge in Crimea. Mm-hmm. I didn't see any reports of the intelligence, not from the West, not from Ukraine, not from Russia, that prove that what happens with Crimean bridge is the result of Ukrainian actions and not made by Russians themselves, which they used to do many times in the history. As you remember, Second Chechen War started after Putin ordered to blow up the civilian houses in some places in Russia, and then blamed Chechen people of the terrorist acts. Mm-hmm. And that's why he started the Second Chechen War. Mm-hmm. Same story here. Mm-hmm. They damaged the bridge, and then they blamed Ukraine. And then, I mean, okay, it's a good price for a bridge. Mm-hmm. Like to destroy half of Ukraine with missiles. Good. Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's very center of Kiev. That's my university. I studied there for 5 years. Mm-hmm.
After the attack from Russia, we hear the president of Ukraine made a phone call with the president of the United States. So what kind of help does Ukraine expect from USA?
We expect any sort of help from the USA. First of all, it's military equipment, weapons, and ammunition. First of all is this. Of course, we expect the financial support from all our partners, because look at this. This is just what you see from one video. And this has been happening for 7 months in the whole territory. It's hard to imagine to what extent the economy of Ukraine is destroyed. The industry is destroyed, and we have to survive somehow. So yes, of course, we expect first of all is weapons and ammunition. Second is financial support.
Mm-hmm. So the U.S. has there been any assistance that they provided?
Well, there are programs. I'm not very I don't have the full scale of what is going on between the U.S. and Ukraine, because we have the embassy and very experienced ambassador in the United States. So what is the number of what provided to Ukraine? I don't know. But what I see is our army is counterattacking Russian troops very efficiently. And the more, the better. The more efficient.